Are you ready? We are. This is Real Politics.
Hello, everybody. Sorry,
Hey,
I had my mic off.
doing?
How are you doing? How are you feeling, Cruz?
Hanging in there.
No, good. You're still alive and kicking. As long as you're alive and kicking, we're all happy. Myra, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing
Cool.
good. How are you?
Hey, Robert, how are you doing?
Hey, Robert.
Hi, Robert. Good evening.
All right. So then today we have a few items on the agenda. Good evening, Claudia. How are you doing? I had an okay Thursday. I haven't slept all day. I normally take a little siesta during the day, but I had to go to the dealership to get a little bit of work done on my vehicle. Yay. And so today we have Debbie D'Souza that's going to be with us at 8:30. Her husband, Dinesh D'Souza, has I guess either a radio hit or a TV hit between 7:30 and 8:30 because Dinesh D'Souza is a very, very popular man in the world of politics and conservative politics. So that it was already scheduled. So she'll be with us for 30 minutes to an hour starting at 8:30. So while we wait for her, we're going to talk about some topics that may not interest Debbie. I think Myra had the first topic that we were going to talk about. Do you remember what the first topic is, Miss Myra?
Well, we're going to talk about Sullivan.
Oh, yes. Well, we can talk a little bit about that, and then we'll talk a little bit about that with Debbie. Yes.
Okay.
What about Sullivan? Who is the Sullivan person we need to talk about?
Was that was that what we're? I woke up from a nap right now, so.
Oh my goodness gracious! No, we were going to talk a little bit about Sullivan with Debbie. Just so you know, we're going to talk about digital censorship, the new podcast that Dinesh D'Souza has that you can get on Apple iTunes podcast, Spotify, YouTube, and on Rumble. Which, if everything goes to plan, at some point we're going to be moving to Rumble because every single conservative outlet probably going to have to go to Rumble because as you know, I think we're feeling the effects of shadow banning by YouTube and by Facebook. Even our small podcast, we have grown exponentially in terms of likes and followers, and yet we're not getting the reach that we were getting before those followers got here. And we really haven't changed stuff other than I think we have the word politics in our program and our show, and they don't really want us to talk about that. They don't want us to talk about politics. Well, I guess maybe the first thing I did want to talk about is the Twitter story. Yeah, Miss Producer is saying, girl, no hot date business, politics only today, yes. And changes as of this week is very odd. We have significantly seen, I was talking to my friend Sharky, who is a co-host of her own, God darn it. I swear, I tell Sharky all the time, I always say her or she because of the fact his freaking name is Sharky, and I always want to say she, whatever. Anyway, we were discussing it a couple nights ago that I did it again. He is feeling the effects. I have no idea. It's just stupid. He has been having the effects as well in his show. He's getting way exponential growth on his page, but yet he's not seeing the follows and the likes in terms of video things. So I think shadow banning. What's your thoughts on shadow banning, Cruz?
Well, it definitely is happening, and you saw the video, the Twitter video, Veritas Twitter video, that Mr. Jack is proposing or saying that more is to come.
I think Miss good evening, Sochi. I think Miss Producer, you have that Twitter video. We were going to play a little bit of maybe the first minute of that video. It is Project Veritas who posted probably like within the last 2 hours talking about Jack Dorsey, the founder and CEO of Twitter.com, that obnoxious website that nobody really wants to be on. And it talks about how he is not just going to be done with President Donald J. Trump. He is going to do much more damage, I guess, to other people and other outlets within Twitter. And so I don't know if you want to play that video for us, Ms. Producer, just a moment. I think I gave you the link. It's very, very probably at the top, wherever it is. The following media includes potentially sensitive content. Oh, let's talk about that first. So this video prior to right now, you could just like watch it. There was no label on it. But I guess because it was somebody from inside Twitter who was a whistleblower, now Twitter has put a sensitive documentation. Sensitive, probably because Twitter does not want you to know what their inside people are saying and what they're doing. They don't want you to do that. So if the whistleblowers within the federal government, hell yeah, let's post it on there. If it's going to hurt President Donald J. Trump and the administration or President George W. Bush, I'm pretty sure Twitter existed then and they were doing whistleblower stuff. It was not a big deal. But when Twitter is getting exposed for what they are and what they and big tech are doing, oh my goodness, got to get that label. Let's play that video, Ms. Producer, if that's okay. Since we've clicked on it, we now have permission to be able to view the video. That's 1.4 million views.
Feels right. We do intend to do the full retro, as I said in my note. It is going to take some time. And then the other thing, just to close out a little bit,
volume's really low.
We are focusing on one account right now, but this is going to be much bigger than just one account, and it's going to go on for much longer than just this day, this week. The next few weeks, it's going to go on beyond the inauguration. We have to expect that. We have to be ready for that. So the focus is certainly on this account and how it ties to real world violence, but also we need to think much longer term around how these dynamics play out over time. I don't believe this is going away anytime soon. And the moves that we're making today around QAnon, for instance, one such example of a much broader approach that we should be looking at and going deeper on. So the team has a lot of work and a lot of focus on this particular issue. We also need to give them the space and the support to focus on the much bigger picture because it is not going away. The U.S. is extremely divided. Our platform is showing that every single day. And our role is to protect the integrity of that conversation and do what we can to make sure that no one is being harmed based off that. And that is the focus, and that is the color we want to provide.
There you have it. Jack
All right, we can stop it there.
CEO
We can stop it there.
one of his
We're gonna stop it there. All right.
The nation is clearly divided, so let's divide it some more. It's basically
There you go. Absolutely. Had you seen that, Myra, until right now? I know the volume was a little bit low.
No, I saw little bits and pieces of it. I was listening to one of the podcasts right now, and I had not seen the video. I had seen the intro to it when James was introducing it or advertising it, but I hadn't seen the video in full.
Had you seen that? And this is just a clip. I'm sure there are much more than what Project Veritas has. What are your thoughts, Cruz, on seeing that video? And guys, whatever your thoughts are on that video, please share it with us in the comments because this is your show, not just us.
Well, it is a valid video, and it does show the mindset. As a matter of fact, the site that I saw the video on started a rumor, and it's strictly a rumor, that he's a little bit of a addict. is a little bit of a drug addict, a druggie.
We don't want to be spreading those kinds of rumors unless it's somebody we know for a fact is doing that. Where let's not do that. He may. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. He's a leftist. Maybe he likes a little
One
bit
of the
of.
things that is a fact that he did do was march with BLM, and I believe he got arrested from it. He was in one of the riots.
Yeah, and speaking of BLM, we now have evidence. Finally, I think Myra, a few days sometime last week, you talked about John Sullivan, who had been arrested, but it wasn't actually arrested. He was really detained.
Yeah, my wording was wrong. It was
right,
detained.
and on Wednesday, on that night, I guess this was after being on Anderson Cooper. Anderson, the great CNN anchor from Anderson Cooper, and talking about how he's so very woke, very, very woke, totally awake, never asleep, totally awoke. Mr. Anderson Cooper. And so he apparently came on his show. Hey, Pablo, ¿cómo estás? How are you doing? Thank you for serving our country. I called her girlfriend también a Sharky, me salió. It does every time, Miss Ophelia. And by the way, before we go, Miss Ophelia, Raymondville has city elections this May. There are 2 seats up in Raymondville. Doña Ophelia, I do not know if you're going to run for city commission as opposed to mayor, but let's do this. 2 spots open. Let's hopefully not an endorsement. We want to be able to interview potentially your opponent, but let's do it. Let's write City of Raymondville. If you know anybody in the City of Raymondville that Doña Ophelia, if Doña Ophelia does not want to run, we find somebody in Raymondville, make changes in that great city of Raymondville. The city you pass when you're going to Kennedy County for no reason. Anyway, let's go for it. And so the issue is Miss Producer, ask her if she wants to come on the Late Show to discuss. Doña Ophelia, Miss Producer, asking if you want to come on our Late Show tonight at 11 o'clock to discuss and potentially announce your candidacy for your exploratory committee, I guess, for the city commission in the great city of Raymondville, Texas.
Let's do it here in Real Politics.
Let's do it here. This is where you want to be for politics. I mean, hey, Jade, how are you doing? I'm not going to say who dat. Not doing that yet. Miss Producer says yes. So, going back to John Sullivan, he was detained and he was over on Anderson Cooper. Did you see that interview, Cruz, with Anderson Cooper? No. Yeah, it was very much. I'm gonna ask. Ha 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 ha. Okay. So no, Anderson Cooper was like, what were you doing? You were documenting the whole incident. That's all you really were doing. It was like wonderful. That's all it was, right? And then he gets detained by the FBI or federal authorities in Washington. And just today, he was finally arrested in Utah. And we now have evidence in the criminal intent or the affidavits or I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. We should ask Eddie to talk about that. No creo. You need to run. You need to run for city commission, or you're gonna wait for mayor. You just could do it. Then maybe we can get vendors to go to help your GoFundMe page for your audio stuff. I mean, you could do. Why the heck not, right? No, I'm just kidding. No, don't. That'd be illegal. Don't do that. No. So he gets arrested, and it turns out that he potentially. Okay. All right. So Ophelia for mayor. Rose wants Ophelia for mayor. You see, everybody wants you to run for something, Miss Ophelia. Hey, Sharky, ¿cómo estás? How are you doing? I need to call you at some point, talk to you about what happened with the vehicle. All right, because he's not only an investor expert. Sharky is a car expert too.
Is he?
Yes. Miss Producer says, Prince, oh my God, the kisses. We will get her elected. Where's Susan? She will be here at 8:30. She's planning on being here late. So we're going to talk about national politics. Where are you, Charlie? Where the hell were you last night?
I was dressed yesterday.
Where were you? We were waiting for you. Where were you? You were texting me before the show, and what happened? He probably had a late night with the wife.
No, he probably thought who was on the show and didn't want to come on.
Oh, that's right. We had Eddie on the show last night. Charlie. He was ready. He was waiting for you. He even had scruffy face too for you.
Oh yeah, he had a scruffy face too.
Miss Producer saying he stood us up. Charlie stood us up. No, and so he was arrested, and we now have video evidence of him saying, "Let's burn this place down," meaning this BLM guy, this Antifa guy. Hey, Cruz. Hey, Ron. How you doing? Welcome. He was one of the people that was telling people to burn it down. Mm-hmm. The haters are triggered about my GoFundMe page. Geez, it's not like they're gonna help. That's true. What do you mean? They're not. You mean they're not gonna donate to your GoFundMe page? They should. That way they can get even better product than they're already getting. Yay, Sharky. So, what do you think, Myra? Tell me about John
That's what I
Sullivan.
meant. Remember that I mean, I've been saying that, yes, there was patriots. I mean, MAGA movement people in the Capitol, but there was also an infiltration of BLM and Antifa. And I've been, arguing with people, them telling me no, but there was. I mean, this guy Sullivan, as far as I know, he's one of the one that leads BLM. He's one of their leaders, and his dad was somewhere in the movement or something. But he went all the way to DC from Portland. He's in Portland or Seattle.
No, John Sullivan is in Utah.
Utah. Sorry. Oh yeah, he's in Utah. He's from Salt Lake. So he went from Utah all the way to DC, and that's what they do. They traveled and they infiltrated the Capitol, and they got through. He wasn't the only one that was arrested. There was a son of a liberal judge from New York, I think, that also got arrested. That was in the middle of the crowd, that had also got into the group and started pushing for chaos.
All right. Miss Debbie D'Souza is backstage, ready to come on. She will be with us till approximately 9:15. So let's welcome Miss Debbie D'Souza, executive movie producer for the movie Infidel. If you haven't seen it, go find it, go watch it. Hi, Miss Debbie. She's also a conservative activist, been fighting the good fight, and she's now a producer herself. She's now producing a podcast. How is that going? She's producing a podcast for Dinesh D'Souza. By the way, you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Rumble, and YouTube as well. So how is that going?
Yeah, so day 2, I was like, I quit. No, it's hats off to all of the producers, of podcasts all over the nation, because it was really hard work. I didn't realize how hard it was to do that, but it's a really good podcast. We're really proud of it. Dinesh is number 7 on Apple right now on all podcasts. So
Oh, wow.
it's really cool. He's only done 4 podcasts. I think he's already at number 7. So I think it's going to really be.
Is he going to do it 7 days a week?
No, it's 5 days.
5 days. Okay, yeah, because that's way too much.
So it's Monday through Friday, or
Monday through Friday. Yeah, tomorrow will be episode 5. We've done 4 already, all on Apple, and also if you want to watch it, you can watch it on Rumble and on YouTube.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you can do that, and I think I gave you guys a short clip of it. So
Do you have it, Miss Producer, so we can be able to play it? Miss Producer has it. Let's play it. Let's play a little bit of short clip of the podcast with Dinesh D'Souza and the former producer of the show. Debbie D'Souza is no longer the producer. She gave up. She quit. She's not gonna take it anymore. Let's go. All right, where is it? Oh, okay. We're gonna play like this.
Talk about it anymore. And not only that, they were put on this list where they were basically like X'd out of the site, and they were no longer relevant.
Oh, it froze a little bit. That it? Did it play properly, Debbie?
Oh.
I don't think it played properly.
No, it's going to SNL.
Yeah, I went to SNL for some reason. What's going on, Ms. Producer? What are you doing? Where are you taking us? There it is.
Many people fled Venezuela, but you know what, honey? We don't have anywhere to go. We cannot allow this to happen here in America. And unfortunately, because of the way that social media has shut us down, has shut our voices down, it's just, like I said, he lied about being a socialist. And then he came in, and there was nothing else anyone could do anymore. They were, the conservative voice was marginalized. I feel like our conservative voice is marginalized. Their right wing or center right wing party was destroyed. I feel like our party is being destroyed. Our conservative Republican Party is splintering off. People don't trust it anymore.
And a lot of Venezuelans don't vote.
And a lot of Venezuelans stopped voting because they said, how does it matter that I go to the polls and vote when I know what the outcome is going to be? And I fear that here in America. I really do. And I encourage everybody not to disengage, because that's what Venezuelans did. They disengaged and the left won. We can't allow that here.
Cool. So you're going to be part of this podcast, right?
Yes, I will be making cameo appearances every once in a while. Monday I was on it, so that's the first one, and then tomorrow as well. So
Okay.
every once in a while, I'll freak myself in there. I'll wear two hats. What do they say? Jack of all trades, master of none.
There's a little bit of an echo. By any chance, are you playing? I think the echo is coming from you, Debbie, for some reason. When you talk, I hear a bit of an echo.
An echo. That's interesting, because I am not playing anything.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Would it be muted one by one, Ms. Producer? Maybe.
Yeah, because a couple of people have already said there's an echo, and I hear it as well.
Okay. Well, let me see.
You want to let's put Miss Debbie backstage real quick and then bring her back in. Let's see if that'll help it. Sometimes that does the trick. Okay. All right, let's try that. Yeah, there's no echo anymore, right?
No.
Is it good?
No. We're good, I think. That's good. Or is it you, Myra?
No.
Mute Myra, please, real quick. Or mute yourself, Myra. Is there an echo anymore? Talk, Debbie.
Hello. Testing one.
No, it's you, right? Because you're muted, Myra. It's Debbie. Yeah. I don't want to do this. Is it okay if you refresh and come back in real quick? Is that okay? That's the secondary trick we have to do in order to get rid of the echo because of how it is. Can you do that? Just refresh it and then just log back in. It should do the trick, hopefully. All right. Awesome. Yeah, I don't want to hear the echo because we already had a few people make the comment. Yes, that's true. Cruz is eye candy. Yes, it's true. That's what he is. Hello, feeling vindicated about. Yes. Well, look, Myra, you're saying that it's not just it's not just BLM, it's not just Antifa, it's also what you're saying, MAGA Patriots.
It was a mix, but BLM had that purpose. Antifa had that purpose to create chaos, to go in and create all this, because we as patriots, the plan was the majority, the patriots, they were going to march to the steps of the Capitol, and they were going to demand to be listened to. Okay.
All right. Let's start. The echo's still there. It shouldn't be there. I might actually be Myra a little bit because I heard a little bit of echo when you were talking. Right? Or is it me? Hopefully it's not me. I'm fine. It better not be Roman because then it's like, okay, it's no big deal. So we wanted to talk a little bit about what is it? Censorship, digital censorship. There was the issue of Jack. We just played the video of Jack in Project Veritas. What are your thoughts on Jack? I'm sure you've already seen it. It has 1.4 million views already on Twitter, and Twitter is already censoring it sort of by giving like, hey, this has sensitive data or information. What are your thoughts, Deb?
On Jack, you want me to really tell you how I feel about Jack?
go to town. No, I wish I had popcorn.
I think this is a PG-13 show, so we're gonna go there. I feel like he's a danger to society. I really do. And recently, I saw a video of him, or a photo of him actually, with my favorite pendejo, Sean Penn. And the reason I call him Sean Pendejo is because Sean Pendejo actually helped Hugo Chavez in Venezuela. And so as socialist as they come, and he is he's a menace to society, for lack of a better word. And if Jack hangs out with him, he's kind of the same in my book. So no, he's a bad guy, and he is definitely using Twitter as a platform to shut us down.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I always have to agree with you, Debbie. I'm a little bit troubled by it because we were talking a little bit about shadow banning. I mentioned to you that earlier to you in text messages with you that we're being shadow banned. A lot of conservative outlets are being shadow banned, and not only that, but being censored and just completely eliminated. Myra, I think you've told the story before of you not being able to be on Facebook anymore.
Yeah, I got banned from Facebook in 2019. What I did back then was I put when the San Francisco declared the NRA a terrorist organization, I put a little flyer that said I am the NRA. I'm not a terrorist. Within an hour, I was, banned. No, I had never been on Facebook jail. I'm not one to say bad words. Well, back then, I think I'm cussing a little bit more, and I hate it. But I would never post a bad word or anything, and they totally took me off. When National File called Facebook for a comment on why they deplatformed me, they had nothing to say. And that was at that point, I was already with Latinos for Trump. I was the South Texas regional director, so I was already gaining, I don't want to say a following, but gaining more friends on Facebook and becoming more of a voice for the president. And they started seeing that. So that was when I got deplatformed. I started with another one. The second one got banned because I showed BLM attacking us on 4th of July in DC. So every time you show something that shows what these organizations are really like and what they're doing, they shut us down. But I just wish, there was so many people from 3 to 4 years being silenced, and nobody took it seriously back then until now. So now it's become more powerful, the censorship, and it's very, very sad what's going on.
Yeah. How many followers? And I know some of them in the media, like Jake Tapper, is saying, well, you wouldn't be having problems with follower losses if you didn't have a bunch of bad people following you. I mean, maybe it's not Jake Tapper, but it seems to be prevalent in the media. Have you and Dinesh have lost a lot of followers, and are you concerned about that?
I lost about 30,000 followers. Wow. 30,000. So
Wow.
my thinking is that a lot of these people either were kicked off of Facebook, Twitter, or they quit, because a lot of people just said, "I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want to. I don't want anything to do with Twitter." So I think it's a combination of both, because I think people decided that they had had enough. Now because I had about 100, almost 100 and I guess 120,000 and so followers. And Dinesh had, I don't remember, he had like 2 point something, I think, or 1 point, he had almost 1.9 million.
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw him say he had lost like 200,000 or something.
Oh, yeah, he lost 200,000. And so mine obviously is a smaller, percentage, but still a lot of people. And of course, we were very active on Parler. We were kind of behind the scenes. We love Parler. And then, as you know, too much competition Parler apparently had. And so not only did Amazon go after them as a server, but people went after them because they just not only do they not want you to say anything on their platform, but they don't want you to say anything on your platform. Okay, and this is the danger of this horrific thing that's going on in society right now. And because the left won, and they did win, let's not sugarcoat it, they won this election, not fair, of course, we know this already. And that's another thing that we got silenced on. We no longer say anything about fraud. As you know, most people that were kicked off of Facebook and Twitter were talking about election fraud. And you cannot say that on these platforms or you get kicked off. Why? Because they know it's true. If they ignored us, and these guys are crackpots, they say it's yeah, right. Let them grind, But no, that's it. They don't want people to know that there was fraud. So that's why they silence us, because truth hurts them. So unfortunately for us, they control everything. Hello, they do. And so because they do, we are then the victims of this like newspeak, as I call it. And I did a column on El American. As you know, I'm also a columnist there. And I big tech brother. So go to American.com and look for me and look for my my article that I did about that. Because basically it's 1984, guys. It is 1984. We were told what to say, when to say it, and now where to say it.
And I know that 1984 seems to be an issue because some people like Jake Tapper seems to think, and I keep bringing up Jake Tapper because there's sort of a little bit of a Twitter war between Dinesh and him. Although Jake doesn't want to reply because Jake would get his Dartmouth butt beat. But if you can lower your volume just a little bit, I think maybe the volume might help a little bit. Miss Producers thinks that might help just a tiny bit. Dinesh went to Dartmouth, took a class, of course, in 1984, and says that might be a thing to discuss. Cruz, do you have a question or a thought?
Just that I guess I'm pretty sure that you guys have a backup plan on hosting, because I have read that GoDaddy has also discontinued hosting of several sites. So that not only are you losing your platform, you're losing your hosting.
Yes, that's right. So the platform it was on Amazon originally on that server, and so they kicked us off, and there were a few others that were in the works, and those two also said no. So right now, it's not looking too good, let's just say. Now, Dinesh is going to have John Matsey on next week, who is the CEO of Parler. He's going to talk to him in depth about all this, about what's going on. I think that we should sue the pants off of Amazon for doing this to us. I mean, that goes without saying, because it's just really unfair, and it's malicious. It really is. It is an attack on conservatives, and it is an attack on our free speech, not theirs. Because when people say an attack on free speech, no, they have all the free speech they want. They can say whatever they want, whenever they want, and it doesn't matter. It's a conservative that can't say anything. So we are the ones. Our free speech is being attacked, not theirs. So I want people to understand that in America, free speech is not under attack for everyone. It's just under attack for conservatives. And so people need to understand that. And so, this is the situation we find ourselves in today. And that is that we cannot say anything about the election. And so when I say, in that little clip of the podcast, I'll talk a little bit about the Venezuelan parallels. In Venezuela, when Hugo Chavez got those machines that were Smartmatic machines that, as you know, morphed into the Dominion machines, he got those machines specifically to cheat, specifically to change the algorithm in the middle of the night, just like what happened here, right? So because we say that, we are silent. They don't want
conspiracy theories because we say that.
It's very scary. But also, the one thing I wanted to say was the parallel is that in Venezuela, when Venezuelans went after Hugo Chavez and wanted voter integrity, they shut them down too, and they made them look like they were crazy, and they made them look like they were just making up all kinds of conspiracy theories. So parallels are uncanny. I mean, they really are. And so I struggle with it.
Yeah, and they are attacking conservatives. They didn't want us off of Facebook. They took us off of Facebook. You lost me as a follower on Twitter because I personally chose to close out my Twitter account after being deplatformed once. But the thing is, that's why Parler was created. So a lot of them went to Parler, and what do? They shut down Parler by removing them from the servers. So they are closing every avenue that we have of our freedom of speech. So it is an attack on conservatives and certain type of people. It's like you say, it's not an attack on everybody, because they continue to say what they want. They continue to incite violence and encourage BLM and Antifa, but it's okay.
And think about it. What happened when Antifa and BLM were burning down all the businesses, right? If we said anything about them, we got kicked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that then they were just protesters and we are insurrectionists. I mean, just the language, they changed the whole, really? No, we were protesters, okay? We were protesting the election.
Mm-hmm.
We have the right to protest the election just like they have the right to protest whatever they want. Now, nobody has the right to burn down buildings and do all of those shenanigans. I never said that. But the fact that Trump had millions of people outside the Capitol who were just there peacefully, and the fact that they're making those people into like criminals is appalling. It's appalling.
And as far as I hear,
Yeah.
you can't even say that you were in DC that day because they'll come and investigate you. You don't even have to say you were in the Capitol or on the stairs. If you were on DC that day, people are getting investigated. That is just plain ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's an attack.
Charlie had a question we had on a little bit too long out there, Miss Producer. But I don't, quite frankly, I don't understand it. Charlie, I don't know what chance to get in. I don't know what you mean get in. I don't know what you
So
I think what Charlie's trying to say is, do you think that Trump still has a chance of being president, like most?
I never thought he did in the first place, because the problem is, again, and I go back to my Venezuelan investigation, they make it very difficult to basically audit those machines. And so unless there is a complete audit and a real investigation and real evidence put forth, nobody wanted to take this on. I mean, as you know, the Supreme Court didn't even want to take, they said that we had no standing, So unfortunately, it doesn't look good for Trump, and it didn't then either. And I'm afraid at what happened with a lot of these people, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there were some people that were doing some major damage to our side by putting in some really wacky conspiracy theories. Guys, there's enough truth out there that you don't have to use conspiracy theories. You can speak the truth, and it's not a conspiracy theory, but you don't need to do that to incite any kind of like backlash, because the fact that people are saying, oh yeah, he's going to get in there, you watch. No, guys, he's not. Biden is going to be inaugurated, and we're going to stomach it, and then probably Biden will last a few months, and then he will come in. So I mean, that's my prediction. But I mean, I'm telling you, it's very, very sad what happened, but because it happened once, if we don't fix it, it's going to happen each and every time. And that is the danger of losing with these elections, because the minute you introduce fraud into an election, I mean, look at Venezuela. They have never been able to recover since then. So, and to be honest, I don't know if the Georgia elections, the Senate, I don't know if they were legitimate. I really don't.
Well, I mean, it's very difficult.
The same way about
it. Yeah, it's very difficult to have that happen when you have a lot of mail-in ballots coming in. I mean, that is one of the things I'm hoping in this Texas legislature that's going on right now is that Republicans will be smart about finally tackling mail voters. I wish we had Mari De Leon here with us, because she was the chief of staff for State Representative Aaron Pena. She's a co-host of our show, and one of the issues that he's always fought about is mail-in ballots. And for some reason, Republicans don't want to tackle it or talk about it. I guess because they know that Republicans use mail-in ballots, but this is throughout the state, and they don't want to care about what happens here in the Valley. Thanks, Marisol. I've never seen you comment, so welcome to the show. Those of you that are new to the show that are watching us, thanks for coming. Make sure what I recommend to everybody that's new to following or liking our page to turn on notifications for live stream because you never know when we're going to come on. Generally, we come on at 8 o'clock, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And then we'll do a late night show. Most times, we don't do an early show on Wednesday and Friday and the weekends. Just depends on how we feel. So if we're not too exhausted from the week. Debbie, what are your thoughts on the Texas legislature? That's something that you and Dinesh will be talking about and at all this next few months.
In the Texas legislature, we haven't really, we're barely keeping up with the federal. Okay, we haven't even delved into the Texas legislature. I used to be. Are you still hearing an echo?
Yeah, we are. I don't know what it is. It might be your telephone. I don't know. You don't have it.
My phone is off. My phone is
That's
completely
weird.
off.
This is
But what I could do is I could try and see if I could hook up an external microphone because I have gone through without the external mic, but let me try.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, that works. I might try it. Yeah, no wings up because I want everybody wants to hear you.
Yeah, I'll try doing that. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we'll read some of these comments that are on while that we might have missed while Debbie is joining us. The Texas legislature started this week, 140 days. Today there was even is there still an echo as I'm talking? Maybe it's me.
I hear it when you talk too. I hear it when Roman.
Really? Let me reboot my thing as well. And you and Cruz, I'm sorry about this, guys. We're having technical issues. Let me just reboot myself. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Fred says everyone needs to be on Gab. Yeah, Fred, I've been a user, but they've been so busy that I can't log in. It won't let. It'll give me the login screen, and I hit login. And it just freezes and I can't get in. There's just too many people. They're going to have to upgrade their servers because they just have too many people getting on right now.
Debbie, is Trump? Well, we'll ask Debbie on that when she comes back in on the Insurrection Act. I don't know if she read it when she was on.
All right, I'm back.
We'll ask her when she comes back, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Anything that he does right now will not only hurt him, but it'll hurt his family, and I don't think he wants to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that I'm okay now, guys. Am I fine? Are you still hearing the echo? Okay, great. Usually it's somebody who's not using a microphone that's not having the echo issue, so most of that's what it is, but let's try. Debbie, are you back?
I'm back. Is it better?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, consider your letter.
Really?
Yeah, the speaker, what usually is happening is the speaker's picking up, it's reverberating. That's pretty much what's happening. Guys, let's do this show because I want to make sure we have as much time with Debbie because she doesn't come on as often as we want because I wish she would here like every day, quite frankly, but she had better things to do than be in our show with us.
Can I say something real quick? I read somebody commented a little while ago and they go, does Debbie know that we have a more balanced show now because we have Democrats on the show? And so to that, I say, well, I didn't know that, but I'm not talking about your typical Democrat that goes and votes, and is a Democrat because his mom was a Democrat or his grandfather or grandmother was Democrats. I'm talking about the people that are the leadership of the Democratic Party that are extremely conniving. And I'm talking about those people. So, I have friends that are Democrats. In fact, I have my best friend from college is a Democrat. And we kind of got into it a little bit during the election. And I regret that because she's one of my dearest friends. So I don't begrudge, Democrats, but I do think that people need to understand what they're voting for when they vote Democrat. And I think the problem is that there's just not enough education on what the Democrats stand for, their platform, because I think that once people understand that and kind of internalize that, I think they will begin to understand why so many people wanted to vote for Trump in the Valley, because I saw that like all over the place. I saw the Trump trains. I saw, people saying Latinos for Trump, all of those things. And that's because Trump really did personify what it means to be a Republican. and the Republican platform, even though Trump was not a Republican, I think all his life, So I do think that it's important for people to understand what they're voting for. The platform of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are very different, very different. And when you look at it, and you don't even put the word Democrat or Republican, when you just look at the platform and what they stand for, I bet a vast majority of Valleyites would pick the Republican Party because of what it stands for. And so, I'm just going to leave that out there. You do your own research, but that's the reason that I've always been a Republican. I've been one since I was 14 when I saw Ronald Reagan in the Valley when he went to Harlingen in 1980. I became a Republican because I loved what the Republican Party stood for. And so I don't want to say I turned 55 last week. So for a long time, I've been a Republican, and I will never change.
Yesterday, we had a situation where, and if we can get the audio from Adrian Pena Garza's page, it'd be good. I'd like to get the reaction from Debbie. And if you want to fast forward to maybe the 6-second mark in that video, Ms. Producer. Adrian Pena Garza is the county chairman or the chairwoman for Hidalgo County. And she received a message from what appears to be an Anglo male. We do not know who it is. At least I don't. And said some really, really nasty derogatory remarks. I mean, things that I almost don't think a lady should have to hear. But it was racist. It was misogynistic. It was disgusting. It was threatening. And that is what conservatives in the Valley have to hear. And it happens in other parts of the country, I'm sure. But to have the county chairwoman have this effect, and it's something that the national media needs to pick up on, because if people want to talk about President Donald J. Trump and grab her by the well, he was a Democrat when he said that. Okay, we have a problem here, and so if Ms. Producer has it ready, let me know when you have it. We shouldn't be experiencing that. I'd like Debbie's thoughts on that when she hears it and her reaction to it. If you have it, Ms. Producer, do you have it? If not, it's okay. No, I don't think she has it yet. Well, without hearing it, what are your thoughts on something like that happening here in the Valley?
Gosh, well, I mean, for a man to do that, just in general, I don't care what he is, but I mean, there's no place for that anywhere in any party. But I think conservatives definitely get the worst end of it usually. I know that for myself, now being a public figure, because I'm married to Dinesh, I get very nasty attacks. In fact, I get them on a pretty much consistent daily basis. I have learned to ignore. I have learned to just pray about it and just say, listen, I can't hold it in. I have to just let it go. Dinesh does a really good job of letting it go. He gets attacked all the time. I was not used to it. Now, I will say this, back before I even knew Dinesh, I had a Facebook page called Conservative Latina. And I had I had a small following. I had about 3,000, 4,000 followers, something like that. And basically it was just my little rant page. I would talk about Venezuela. I would talk about the Valley. I would talk about different things. And
I think I remember that page.
I had a lot of friends. I think you were on that page, actually.
I'm pretty sure I was.
Yeah, I think you were. I think I got you to, I begged you to fan it.
Probably.
So
what are you watching, Ms. Producer? You're getting likes and loves, or what are you doing there, Ms. Producer?
So many hearts.
It's a lot of hearts. Who's hearting you, Ms. Producer? We'll talk about that in the late show.
Yeah. So anyway,
this is the audio, Miss Debbie. This is the audio.
All right.
Big, disgusting scum of the earth. They're going to come by and they're going to squeeze that fucking cocksucking whore. Tell her to wipe her fucking mouth off. The worthless fucking beaner spit has dumped scum all over her face. And they're going to fuck her asshole till she bleeds. What is disgusting ignorance? Shit. Go back to
I'm disgusted. Seriously. That is real. That's threatening. This happened after she was on television when President Donald Trump was here in the Valley. And that is what the response is to our county chairwoman in Hidalgo County.
Now, is there a way to trace that call?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there is.
There is.
Yes.
You know what? That's a threatening call. That is a threatening call, and that man should be prosecuted.
Absolutely.
Absolutely horrific, just horrible.
So hopefully we'll find that person and the police will find him. I mean, the law enforcement is doing a good job in finding some of these insurrectionists, terrorists, or whatever you want to call them, and treasonous scum. I prefer the phrase treasonous scum at this point as opposed to just anything else. Whether they're leftists or rightists, it doesn't matter. It's on Adrian Pena Garza's page. If you can share it and help, I think we need to spread this. This is what Hispanic women are facing when they want to be conservatives. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it makes a Hispanic conservative woman think twice before running for office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if that's the kind of treatment that she's going to get, is it really worth it? But I say to her, just hang in there. We know who's righteous and who isn't. And he will get his comeuppance.
Yeah, God willing. God willing, she will, and she'll be brought to justice.
Yeah, no, that is not acceptable. I mean, it's horrible, and I really hope that they catch this guy, and I hope that they put him in jail. I really do. That is just disgusting.
I'm sorry you had to hear the language, but I think it's important that people hear it.
So back to my Facebook. So what happened when I had my Facebook page? I was attacked on my Facebook page by some people that actually have a Latino page on Facebook, and they're liberals, liberal Latinos, and they attacked me and they said such vicious things to me, they hoped I got raped, and I mean just on and on and on. I was just like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even believe it. It made me cry because I that was the first time I had ever experienced such hatred and just anger, and I was just mortified. I was like, oh my gosh, what if they find out where I live? What, my kids, I don't want my kids to see this. So I was just petrified. And so that was my first experience with these liberals, really. I mean, it was my first encounter with that. Mm-hmm. So then, after Dinesh and I got married, I had to just ignore, because there is so much hate out there. And you know what the funny thing is, and I think with her, the reason that she was attacked is because she's effective, right? And because they're afraid of her effectiveness. So when Dinesh is effective, or when I'm effective, they fight us because they hate the fact that we're effective. So in a way, the more effective we are, the more we get attacked.
Yeah, they get aggressive. That's what they do. They get aggressive, and we've seen it.
Sorry we haven't gotten to some of y'all's comments, but we want to make sure that we hear Miss Debbie out, and let's read a few of these comments, and then we'll catch up a little bit if we can on the whole conspiracy issue. He agrees with us. Hey, Eddie. Dem say nothing to see here related to the election. Want Republicans to just move on and shut up. Eddie's an awesome attorney in Houston, by the way. Mm-hmm. Debbie, he's originally from Port Isabel, class of 91. And he does not look like he's old enough to have graduated in 1991, but he's in PI. But he lives in Houston. We have had him on the show last night. He's awesome. I've lost several friends because of this election, and I don't doubt it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and he's right. They do want us, nothing to see here. Move on, and that is the problem. See, because here's the thing: if I'm running a race, right, with someone, and I win, right. And everyone accuses me of cheating. They go, oh no, she didn't win. She cheated. Look at that. What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want them to play the video, the replay of me winning. So to shut them up once and for all. So that they know that I won fair and square. Right? But if I go and destroy the video because I don't want them to play the video and I want them to shut up because I don't want them to say I cheated, what is that message? What kind of message am I sending by doing that? I'm actually sending the message of, you know what? I actually did cheat, but I don't want anyone to know I cheated.
You're destroying the evidence.
Exactly. And so as a Democrat, as a good Democrat, I would have said, you know what, guys, let's just do this. Let's just prove to the Republicans that we didn't cheat, because what do we got to lose, right? The only thing we have to lose is the election, if we cheated. But because we're so adamant about saying that we didn't cheat, why don't we just prove it to them? Here, give them the machine. Let them do the forensic audit on it. Let's get all the signatures. Let's match up the signatures. Let's tear up all the dead voters. Let's tear up all the people that actually didn't live in this county, but actually moved to the other county and they actually voted twice. Let's just clean up the rolls. Why didn't they do that? See, that's the thing is that their inability to actually say, okay, guys, let's do this, is what is driving us to say you cheated. And you cheated because you don't want to show us the evidence. In fact, you want us to move on. You want us to stop talking about it. You want us to just forget about it and be like, and sing Kumbaya. Kind of like how they sang Kumbaya when Trump won, right? Didn't we all sing Kumbaya?
Yes.
Right? I was
totally. Every day.
Jim Jordan, and he said 19 minutes of Trump's inauguration, they filed for impeachment. 19 minutes after he was sworn in. So it started all those 4 years. They tried to bring him down. Throughout those 4 years, they have never let it down.
Yeah, I agree, Laura. I very much agree. Local FBI should investigate. Yep.
Yeah.
And Robert was saying she agrees with the GOP platform. That doesn't sound like an Anglo. Doesn't sound like it. Seems like he was trying to sound white. You think so? Really? I'm not sure. I think he sounds Anglo. It's okay. I know. I get it. It's okay. You don't want to. He's not really.
No. He sounded like a jerk. That's what he sounded.
That definitely a jerk. Trump lost by over 9 million votes. Trump said doesn't represent intelligent Republicans regret voting for him. They will come back, but not if Trump stays. Debbie,
what do you think? Does calls me, the you're not intelligent because you supported Trump, and they question our intelligence because of who we support, and we don't fight like that. I never question anybody's intelligence. I mean, your issues are your issues to who you support. I support Trump because of the platform and the agenda he had about America first, strong borders, and the pro-life.
Exactly right. And again, Charles, how do we know that he lost by 9 million votes? I mean, really, how do we know that? We don't know that. The media and the Democrats want us to say that and think that, but unfortunately, they were not willing and able to provide us with what we needed to figure out if this election indeed was fraudulent or if it was legitimate. And, I will say this. I do believe that the election, despite what I think was fraudulent, was too close. I do believe that. And I think I even might have said this before the election on this show, that I was afraid that Biden was going to win. I actually had a bet going with my husband, and I won.
Yeah, I remember that. I was wondering, did he pay up?
He has not paid up yet.
What? Just pay up already. When is he going to wait? Like after January?
Not only has he not paid up, but he refuses to pay me for being his producer.
You know what? You should sue. Like immediately. Well, and just to say, Charlie, the 9 million votes, that's the popular vote. That doesn't really mean much, quite frankly. Let's look at some of the actual states that sort of mattered and how close they were.
So the thing is, yes, you're right. We are not in this country. We thankfully don't do popular vote, because if we did, we would be Venezuela and Cuba. Okay. So,
yeah, easily. Yeah.
Easily. So, but again, It was too uncomfortably close. I mean, it was, see, I think if it had been a complete landslide, I don't think they would have been able to dump all those ballots the way they did. And so I think that unfortunately it was just too close. And I'm not really sure if the reason it was too close was because the Republicans refused to unite with the Trumpsters. And I do feel like this is going to be a very serious problem going forward. And that is the Republicans that refuse to support Trump. Because let me tell you, like it or not, Trump was the president and he was running on the Republican ticket. Okay. Here is the conundrum. We cannot win an election when we splinter off, because if they don't splinter off and we splinter off, they will always win. And I don't know how much more clear I have to be about that, but that is actually, and I'm serious when I say this, one of the reasons why in Venezuela they have not been able to counter the left, because the right-wing party, the conservative center-left party, center-right party, self-destructed into lots of parties. So no one party has ever been able to capture the attention of the Venezuelans to counter the left. So my fear is that they're going to say, oh, we have to start a new party. We want to start the Patriot Party. Well, guess what? If that's the case, we'll never win again, because then the Republican Party becomes smaller, the Patriot Party is not big enough, and the left will always unite, and they will always win as a Democratic Party. And so we will be a one-party system country forever. And unfortunately, because they believe in wealth redistribution, they believe in free stuff for votes, they believe in abortion, those are going to be, oh, and of course, the PC police, right? So those are going to be, that's going to be our life going forward if we cannot unite as a party.
Yeah.
So either we shut up and grin and bear it and unite as a party so we can beat those, you know whats, or we shouldn't complain anymore and just let it be, because that's the way it's going to be. And I, for one, don't want that to happen. But, you know, obviously I can't control, you know, Johnny, who is adamant about not ever voting Republican again, or Jimmy, who wants to form a new party, or Larry, who wants to be an old Republican, you know, I'm the old GOP Republican that only votes this way, you know. Unfortunately, if that's how we're all going to act, we're never going to beat them again.
Yeah. Marty's asking very quickly, so I think you have to leave at 9:15. I think that's what you said. So let's move around some of these comments as quickly as we can, because we're behind. Well, let's just go with Doc, I guess. Do you think the Republican Party is going to have to rebuild and rebrand itself? I think that she's already sort of answered that question. So many votes for those who are illegally cast. I'm not sure. Next comment. I belong to log cabin Republicans. Many friends of mine can't believe that I vote the way I do because I'm gay and I am conservative. Cool.
There's plenty of people that I know that do that.
A lot of people like that, actually. We have that group is really huge, quite frankly. I 142 ballots in the middle of the night, and not a single one came in for Trump. Come on.
Yep, that is true.
Yep. The squad knew that.
For Debbie, who do you think should lead? Should the establishment lead, or should the Patriots lead? That's really the crux of the matter. Yeah, I think we're willing to unite. It just depends on who's willing to take the lead and who's willing to follow, because
it's a matter of trusting them again.
Well, here's what I think. I think that because we've lost this election, right? I think we need to clean house, okay? But I don't believe we need to clean house by dismantling the Republican Party. I just believe that we need to clean house by primarying out the bad ones and putting in the Patriots in their place, so that little by little we will start replacing all the rhinos. But we can't replace them right now, because if we replace them right now, then we're going to be like kind of out of commission, right? So every time we have a primary, we just have to have a really strong, good candidate that can, but see, here's the key. We need a candidate in the primary that can win the general. It does no good for this wonderful, conservative to come and win the primary, yay, and then lose to the general.
Yeah, but we've had that issue with Mitt Romney for whatever reason was a nominee. He should not have been a nominee. We had John McCain being a nominee, and well, that was a wasted year. But then again, he was going up against Barack Obama at the time. It's very difficult to have a conservative that we will like and be willing to stomach voting for. And
yeah, but you have to realize even those guys lost in the general, right?
Right.
So, but the problem is, and this is a pretty big problem. If we have someone so basically this is the problem that happened with Romney, and it's kind of unique, but it kind of happened again with Trump in a weird way, in a different way, but kind of similar. So with Romney, you had conservatives, Republicans, who did not want to vote for a Mormon. If you remember that, they refused to vote for a Mormon, so they didn't vote for Romney. So again, you have the phenomenon where you have the Republicans not supporting the candidate because we had way too many people that refused to vote for Romney because he was a Mormon. And so that's the problem. See, you have to have a candidate that all of the Republicans will support. And so with Trump, a lot of Republicans supported Trump, but there were a lot that didn't. So that is the crux of the matter, I think. We have to have a candidate that excites everyone, all of the Republicans, because we have to be able to win in the general.
I don't know if there is such a person, quite frankly. I mean, and I don't know. That's maybe a debate or a question for another day. So we can. I want to make sure we can say goodbye to you properly, and then we'll be able to end the show when we say goodbye to you because we have a late show at 11 o'clock, and we want to be well rested. The problem is the Republican Party is full of liberals. Not necessary.
So you have to primary those out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes time. I mean, it does take time.
Most Republicans believe in the same thing.
The only thing. Did you ever think about running for office?
Did I ever? Well, I joked about running for Senate in Texas in a few years.
You said it here too. And we're waiting for that to happen.
No, that's what I said. I said that I would do that, but I don't know.
Might as well. You can win. Women win. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, and my hubby will help me.
Of course. And I'm sure that a lot of people in Houston will help you too. We might actually be able to win Houston finally.
Valley. Okay.
Yes. And there you go. And the Valley too.
Yes. So just real quick. So on the podcast, somebody asked, what is the name of the podcast? It's called the Dinesh D'Souza Podcast.
Right. That's what it's called.
You can go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe to the Dinesh D'Souza Podcast.
Which I already do.
And then you can go to Rumble and look for it, just search for it on YouTube and search for it. I think in YouTube and Rumble, Dinesh has a subscription. You can subscribe to his channel and then you'll get it there. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to think where else. I think that's
kind of for the Rumble.
And SalemNow.com.
So it's part of the Salem radio network, right? Yeah. I'm trying really hard not. Salem is the one that owns hotair.com too, right? They all, or no?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Or they're part of Town Hall or something?
Town Hall, yes. They own all the Salem radio stations around the country.
Okay. So they're part of that network. I don't even do Hot Air anymore. I used to watch them until like a week ago. Read their blog. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. So they have Dennis Prager, they have Mike Gallagher, Larry Elder. They have several, Charlie Kirk now is on there as well. So it's a great lineup.
All right. Well, I forgive us for not getting to everybody's comments tonight, but we had some technical difficulties. We'll try to put up those comments when we do the closing credits, guys. We will see you all at 11 o'clock. I know it's a little bit of an abrupt closure, but Debbie needs to leave at 9:15, and I want to talk to her a little bit after the show, and so that's kind of important. So, guys, we'll talk to you all at 11 o'clock tonight. We'll have a late show. We'll continue the conversation on this, and we have some other good stuff we'll be able to talk about. So, God bless each and every one of you, Debbie. Hopefully we'll have you on again in a couple of weeks, maybe, and we'll talk more.
I want to discuss the future of the Republican Party because I'm one that's, kind of.
Okay.
The Republican Party. What was the question?
We would like to discuss the future of the Republican Party. How can we save it, find conservative candidates and weed out the ones that don't need to be there?
Absolutely.
Exactly. Most definitely.
That's a great conversation to have for sure.
That's definitely. Okay, guys, we'll see you all soon. See you at 11 o'clock tonight. God bless. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.